Hi guys, I thought I would give you an update on my seed starting system, I'm gonna call it, even though it's actually pretty simple. So in the previous video I showed you how I started these seeds. Basically, I'm gonna try to put a link somewhere, but basically I just filled this tray with a seed starting mix that I put the mix first in a bucket, and then I poured boiling water in it to kill any pathogens that may exist. And I left it sitting there maybe for about an hour or so just to cool down, and then I put it in this tray, and then I made little grooves here, and then I started I put the seeds down, and as you can see, uh, I put a lot of seeds, and they then I covered it, and I was misting it just maybe like a couple of sprays twice a day, depending on how it is, how the temperature is and everything. But they were sitting inside on a heat mat and covered with the dome. Probably the cover was sealed only for 2 days, and then I kind of opened it a little bit so it gets some air. Uh, you kind of see after a while, you start seeing when it's enough for it to be sealed, when they need a little bit of air. But basically the point of the dome is to create a pretty humid environment for the seeds to grow, and especially while they're germinating, they should never get dry. So we need to be always misting them. They don't need to be wet, they shouldn't be wet, but they should have some moisture all the time. So as you can see, I pricked out most of these peppers. There were probably, I'm gonna show you later how many I have pricked out. Pricking out meaning taking these seedlings now and putting them each in a separate cell. So now this is filled with potting mix. Now they're gonna have some nutrients in this soil, but this seedling mix, there is no nutrients here. There are no nutrients at all. This is basically just to sprout the seedling, and these are a little too tall. As I said, these were kind of the leftovers. I tried to prick them when they first kind of come up, maybe like this one, about an inch above ground, have these little leaves. These are already like 2 inches above the ground, above the soil level, or seedling level, seed mix level. So I watered these because I decided I have enough for me already, what I pricked out, but I am going to donate these to a farm. So I'm gonna take them out and plant them nicely in a seedling mix, and they can be here happily for about a month without any more fertilizer, which may be just about enough before we can transplant them here in our zone 9B. So this, when you fill this potting mix, I've done it both ways. Like right now I didn't water this. I have a potting soil that is pretty fine, I have to say, and it's still kind of a little moist. I just opened the bag, and it's really easy to put a hole in here without the soil crumbling in. So now I can just go ahead and put my seedling in here. But if, depending on the potting soil, you may have to water this and then start transplanting your seedlings here. So just do your best, but after a while usually we all kind of just get a hang of it. And so let's see here, I watered this a little too much this morning. which is fine, but usually this should be, ideally, this should be a little less wet, because then you can just go like this and separate these one by one. Like this, the seedling mix would start just slowly crumbling, but even with this uh, you can separate them. It's a little hard for me to do it now with one hand because I'm filming with the other, but look at these roots. And generally, not generally, I never really touch the roots with my hands. I'm just doing this because I'm showing you the roots. Let's see if we can see even better. So look at that root. And all of this, the root itself is probably 3 inches long. And this is how I pick them. I just take the little leaf and then I go in here. So I already made a hole and I lower this down, and then with this little tool I just gently push it down. These are pretty tall. I'm thinking maybe 3 inches deep. So a lot of this root is gonna go down, and then I just gently tap around it. And peppers are a little more sturdy than let's say tomatoes. With tomatoes you have to be more careful. They would snap pretty easily, but peppers are a little bit better when it comes to they're not as fragile. So here is another one. We just basically lower it down and push it gently, and then just fill the soil back slowly. And by the time I water, this will be pretty compact and nicely looking and all of that. So as you can see, there is probably about 100 seedlings right here, just right here. And I already pricked out, I want to say a few hundred, but I'm going to give you an update on everything that I already pricked out. So there is a few hundred of seeds that I started in this tray that is only about 10 by 20 centimeters. Again, this is started in the seedling mix. This is not to let them grow here. There is no nutrients in the seedling mix. You just start them here to start them, literally, to let them germinate and sprout about an inch above the ground. Then you put them here. And then let's say if you do this too early and at some point, so my seed, this once it's done, it's gonna go inside. The temperature is about 70 degrees on average, but they have growing lights above them, so they are going to have pretty good conditions. And I've been growing seeds like this, or seedlings I should say, for probably 6 or 7 years now, ever since I found this system. I haven't tried anything else. I love it. It works for me. The seedlings end up being really healthy. They give. They grow into beautiful plants. But let's just say these are, you started them too early and they kind of overgrow this little cell. Well, at that point you should put them in a bigger pot, basically pot them up, what is usually said. But I've learned to time mine so that they stay here for about a month and a half before being transplanted into the garden. So this is again, these are a little smaller than I usually would use, but I think they're gonna be fine for peppers. And then again, they're gonna be donated, and I'm gonna see, you know, how they want to handle this, but I think they should be fine for peppers. Now this wouldn't be enough for tomatoes or anything else that grows quickly. I wouldn't even bother with these small cells. Usually my beans, my cucumbers, my zucchinis, I start all of that in much bigger cells. So even the seeds are bigger, but even if the seeds were not bigger, those plants grow very quickly, and this kind of cell is nothing for them. This is probably about 1.5 inches by, I'm assuming 3 inches, but even like very, this is very little soil. So for peppers it might be okay for a month. And just to show you, so I have a different variety here. See how small they are in comparison to these. They were sewn together, but I either covered this particular seed a little bit more and they sprouted later, or maybe the seed of this pepper is just of this variety is just very different, and it sprouts better and faster and all of that. But regardless of how big they are, uh, probably in about 2 weeks you will not see the difference here. Sometimes some of them are too small just because maybe they were in a bunch. See how here, like this one is really small, but then these are really big. So you may choose to not even keep the small one if that's your choice. Just pick the bigger ones. But as I said, this ideally should have been done a little bit, maybe like at least a few days earlier, and which I've done. Most of them, as I said, are already transplanted. My friends, I'm just giving you an update on how you can start your own garden. You don't need any fancy materials or anything. You can even use like recycled containers for this, and even little used pots to transplant these. And most people don't need so many seeds, or they don't need to start. But this is like, this particular tray is 200 seeds right here. So I'm gonna transplant these, and I'm pretty sure actually what I have here is gonna fill up this tray. So we're gonna just keep doing this, and uh, I wish you all the best, and I'm not sure if I can answer any of your questions, but feel free to ask them. I don't consider myself an expert. I'm just very passionate about growing vegetables, growing food, and all of that, and I really hope that you all can start growing your own food, because it tastes better, it tastes different, and but most of all, there is like a sense of empowerment that comes with this. You don't depend on the grocery store. You don't depend on anything out there. You kind of have your own vegetables, your own food that you can just go out into your garden and pick and enjoy. There is just something so beautiful about all of that. So I will post another video of all of my seedlings being pricked out. I'm trying to finish this. It's already night. As you can see, I have a light here, so I'm gonna try to post an update, but keep an eye out for the new videos. Thanks again, and happy growing.